This is Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Second hour here on a Friday. Don't forget, our first game of the high school season is tonight out in Valley City. We got Velva and the Highliners. You can see it live right here on WDAY Extra. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock from the brand new turf field out at Hannah Field, where the Highliners are welcoming the Aggies of Velva, Drake, Adamus, Garrison. It's great to have Matt Weidler join us, head coach at Velva, as his team is set for a big 2026 and joins us here to start hour number 2. It's great to see you. Just give me the emotion. It's game day, opening day. What's going through your mind getting ready to hit the road?
Yeah, like right now I'm sitting in my office trying to go through everything that I think we need to bring with and make sure we're not forgetting anything. I didn't sleep very well. I was up early. But I think that's a good sign. Like, you enjoy what you're doing when you're excited to get going for that game one. I think that would probably be my sign when it's probably to get out if you're not excited for that opening game.
I was visiting last Friday, I believe, with Josh Kravachka from Langdon about the early start here. You've only been in camp 2 weeks, and you're playing a game. What are the challenges that are with that?
Yeah, just trying to make sure your kids are prepared, especially in a week one. You can go by some past film of, say, your opponent, but you're not quite sure what you're going to see. There's very limited on personnel. So then it's really like comes down to you as a team and figuring out what your strengths are, within 2 weeks and what you can do well, and then just trying to go into the game and play clean and just kind of see what happens.
How has camp gone in terms of, like, is that speed everything up in terms of your evaluations? Like, okay, we got to know because we're playing a game in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we go to a team camp every summer in Dickinson, which has been really good for us. So you get a pretty good idea of where you're at and your personnel and things like that, and then you kind of got to get through it fairly quick, and who understands things. And as the season goes on, kids understand more, and you're able to build probably even a little more depth, especially with young guys. For us, we're super new everywhere. So it's been kind of I don't want to say trial and error, but we're just moving guys around and finding spots for where we think guys can be successful for us and for them. And we'll kind of play it by ear here then as the weeks go on. I
last saw you in Jamestown at the State B baseball tournament. You had some studs all over the place. I know you graduated some, but tell us about, you mentioned the new guys of finding guys to fit in new roles now in 2026.
Yeah, for us, a big thing, we returned Logan Vincent, our running back, who's played there for this will be his 4th year. He kind of backed up Hank Boudin for a couple years, but kind of was the guy last year. And he's in really good shape. And I thought as the year went on last year, he ran the ball really well for us. So we're going to lean on him early. And then, Brady Hoff was a returning receiver, led us in receiving. So, it's nice to have those two pieces back, but really we're new everywhere else. A couple guys on the offensive line that started spot starts here and there and rotated, but that's probably the biggest thing is getting our guys up front to gel, because I think it don't matter what level of football, you got to be good up front. And, it's going to take a little time for those guys to make sure we're on the same page, but I like where they're at right now.
I'm looking here over the last 4 years, 45-4. I mean, that is Velva we know for football success, but that is, the most losses you had was last year. You had 2 in one season. Describe just the pressure that comes with being the Velva head coach. On the outside, everybody thinks you guys are always going to be really good.
Well, yeah, I don't really necessarily feel the pressure. It's just kind of the expectation.
Yeah.
And for me and our staff, like we just want to do what's best for those kids and get them in position, and for us, not letting them down and trying to, we've been there and played and been at that level and had success and know what it feels like and the joy that comes with it. So I think, and the kids just buy in.
Yeah.
And it's like they've understand, hey, it's our turn now, and their level of play usually rises, and hopefully that continues going into this year.
So I had Chad Smith on last week from Valley City, Matt, just describing the excitement level of what's tonight. I was joking with you off air. I don't know if it's a hornet's nest you're walking into, but they're pumped, obviously, tonight. Big night. open up new turf. You guys are coming in. I mean, tell me about what you're telling your team about what you're going to be seeing there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of joking. It's a little different for us, high school football. Like for us, we never leave the field, and they're going to have an opening ceremony 20 minutes before, which is great. I'm all about that. I think, I've seen the pictures and visited a little bit with Chad via email. They're excited about it, and they should be. It's a really nice facility, and it's a big deal for their community and their team, and yeah, it's going to be a fun atmosphere, and it's great for us to be able to go in there and be a part of that.
All the extracurricular stuff, is that something you have to block out for the guys? Like, hey, we just want to go through warm-ups normal and then get ready to play a football game.
Yeah, I'm not even a huge fan of warm-ups in general. They just take forever. It seems like you just want to get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be an issue with our guys. They'll be ready to go, and it's like it's that opener, so the excitement's going to be there, and whether we got to sit for a little bit, that'll be fine. We'll be good.
Describe here the layout of Class A. It's been a couple years now with Central Cass and Kindred gone. You guys are there. Obviously, Langdon is really good. There's a few other schools that are going to be in the mix. What do you make of how Class A looks as a whole in 2026?
I think it's going to be super competitive. I try and do my best to try and watch other teams just to see, Edgeley, Oaks,
Yep.
like those guys are always. Northern Cass has got a lot of really good players. Langdon, Harvey, we can go on the east side. I think our region is going to be super competitive. A lot of teams return a number of guys, a lot of good football players. And I think our region is going to be a dogfight.
Was that not all of add on the fact that everybody's geared up for you? When you say that makes it double the challenge of knowing what you're getting into this year?
Yeah, I mean, I like it that way.
Yeah.
You want to be in competitive games, and I think it helps your team build some character and some resilience. You just never know, and kids change every year. You
Right.
take a freshman, sophomore, how their bodies change, and you could lose a bunch of guys, and all of a sudden these kids are like, where they come from? Well, they grew 4 inches and put on 40 pounds, But, I like the idea of our region being competitive, and it's going to be fun week in and week out for everybody.
There's a guy that in your region, the rest of the state is waking up to, that plays on Ray, one Mr. Barman, who now I believe is the 17th highest ranked recruit in the entire country. The challenge of that, knowing full well what he does on a football field, what that will be like.
Yeah, he's different.
Yeah.
He's different, special player, and we play them a little bit later, but for us, it's just going to be fine. I think they're going to play them all over the place.
Yeah.
You couple that though, Jace Becker, their quarterback's a really good quarterback too. So they've got the pieces in there to, good running back and, multiple athletes. So, you couple that with a kid like him that can run and do pretty much anything. Like we'll have our work cut out that week for us, prepping for him.
I got to ask, because you've seen it firsthand where Division I teams have come to Velva, come to now even more so to North Dakota. But give me your thoughts on this of how the level of player, why is it different, Matt, over the last couple of years where now more Division I schools are flooding the state? They're going further west in North Dakota. It's not just Fargo or Bismarck. They're going further to smaller schools to find players now.
Yeah, I think it's really good for our state, and I think I think prior, years ago, there was a lot of Division I players, and no one was just out here.
Yep.
And you get one or two, and all of a sudden there's eyes in here. I think University of North Dakota and North Dakota State have their success has helped bring the attention to North Dakota players as well. Back in the day, you get one or two, and it was just unbelievable that happened. Now I think the camps that are out there,
Yeah.
I think the social media helps with that too, but I just think, I don't know what our football numbers are at within the state, but I think the talent is there, and I think it just comes from the work kids are putting in. into the game of football.
Well, I saw your former player at Bison Fan Day on Tuesday night. I saw Ben Shep, who looks even bigger, now playing linebacker, and that's a prime example of a guy that, we talked, I know, when he committed, that he was out there. Certainly schools knew about him, and then NDSU was interested and ended up taking a spot there. That's a guy that it's a prime example of what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, and I think the commitment from these athletes, and especially like a kid like Ben, like they're just gonna go work.
Yeah.
They have goals and dreams, and that's what they want, and they're willing to go work for it. And the state of North Dakota, just in general, you're talking Division I, but you factor in the Division IIs
Absolutely.
and MAIs, how successful they've been and are getting better. It just goes to show, like, these universities are committing North Dakota athletes just as much as the athletes are committing to them.
I have a controversial opinion I want to throw at you that I'm trying to get rallied support from other coaches, and so far I think it's unanimous, so you can disagree if you'd like, but you're playing on turf tonight. If I told you the high school association comes and say, we'd like to move the semifinal round to neutral sites across the state on turf, what do you think?
I would be for it. I think with that too, like, for instance, if we were to be a host team,
Okay.
I think ideally then you play that thing in Minot or whatever closest facility there is to a turf field. I don't think, like, last year in the semis we're playing Langdon, but they're playing it in Jamestown. I don't think that would make sense. You're trying to play it as it's a neutral site, but it's probably close to whoever that higher seed is. When it comes to figuring out where you're going to play that game.
If you lose a home game, how big a deal is that, let's say, revenue-wise for you? Say, hey, a home semifinal game, you got to figure there's going to be people who come to it. That would be the counter argument, I think, to my deal here, Matt.
Yeah, I do. And I mean, we get a portion of it,
right.
The state too.
Yep.
But if you know what type of surface you're playing on, you're going to get a good surface, and you're going to get, ideally, both teams are going to be playing their best based on how maybe what type of style of play they have. I think it would be good for whoever's playing in that game.
Is there a game that comes to mind, like a playoff game, where, like, I have no idea what either our field is going to be like or where we're going is going to be like? An example of that?
No. Last year I thought I had no idea, like it just got so cold when we played in that semifinal game. The ground it was froze, but like at the same time, both teams are playing.
Right. Correct.
So,
yep.
But we've been in the situation, we've tried to tarp our field, and our community has been great, but it's probably more of a pain in the butt than anything. Like, we moved a playoff game to Minot a few years ago. Did that a couple times, just because our field was not playable. You get dumped on, which can happen.
I just think it's more fair for everybody. If you have a chance to go and do that, and now we have it all over the state. And you mentioned Minot's right there for you guys. It's certainly on the western side of the state, whether it be Dickinson or Killdeer or Partial's got it. I just seems like, can we do this and make it happen? I think that would be better for everybody.
Yeah, and sometimes you might have a good day, but your field is beat up because you're playing junior high games, JV games.
Yeah.
You get a game in there, you tear it up. I don't remember who it was. Was it Cavalier the one year?
Yes, it was. Yep.
Just a mess. Like, we had one with Ryan. It was sloppy mess here probably 5-6 years ago. Like, you get it on a turf field, like, the conditions are going to be great for playing.
Hey, last thing before we go, opening night, do you have a superstitions on the side before every game? Do you have to do something, wear something, or what do you have for before kickoff tonight?
No, I don't really do it. Probably the only thing I'll do is I'll just walk out to the field by myself or wherever we're playing. We'll have guys out early or whatever. I kind of go out somewhere in between and just walk by myself, collect my thoughts, and but nothing too crazy.
See, as the baseball guy in you, I thought you'd have, like, I got to wear the same hoodie or I have to wear the same polo or something like that. None of that, huh?
Yeah, we talked. Funny thing about that. Like, I usually wear a different pair of shoes during baseball, and my assistant's like, "You're changing things up. Aren't you going to be superstitious with that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I better put them on." Well, then we got handed by Kindred, so I'm like, well, I don't think it's the shoes. I don't know if I need to believe in superstition anymore.
It's great to see you. Safe travels out to Valley City tonight. Good luck, and I know we'll talk during the season, okay?
You bet. Thanks, Dom.
There he goes. Matt Weidler, head coach of the Velva Drake Animus Garrison Aggies, in action tonight against Valley City. You'll see it live right here on WDAY Extra. Our coverage begins at 7 o'clock as the Highliners and the Aggies kick off the 2026 season. Pretty pumped about that. All right, we'll break. We were talking about that ruling out of Colorado. Well, we got some breaking news on that. We'll share it, and a few emails coming in as well as we roll on a Friday morning edition of Hot Mike, which returns after this.